Hi everyone. Let's see the next CPU scheduling algorithm, which is shortest job first. Yeah, one more thing. In the first come first serve, I forgot to tell you that the data structure which is practically used for first come first serve CPU scheduling algorithm is queue data structure. So sometimes questions will directly ask what is the data structure which is used for this and this CPU scheduling algorithm. And the time complexity here is big O of n. Why big O of n? Because we have n number of processes, then definitely it requires big O of n time to complete all the processes. Okay. So this is one more thing. Now let's see shortest job first. So here in shortest job first, the criteria is burst time. Okay. So shortest job first tells that from the available process which are arrived at that time, you pick the process which have least burst time. So smallest burst time process will picked first in the shortest job first CPU scheduling algorithm. And here mode is non-preemptive, means whenever a process picked by CPU till its completion, no other factor will remove it from the CPU. Okay. So let's take this example. Here are total 5 processes available and the arrival time is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And similarly their burst time are also given 7, 5, 1, 2, 8. So let's draw the Gantt chart first. Gantt chart. So in Gantt chart, which process will pick first by the SJF scheduling algorithm? So at the time 0, there are no process available. It means that from time 0 to time 1, CPU is being idle. So here you can think that CPU is idle at the time 0 to 1 because no process are arrived. Here process are arrived at the time 1, process P1. Okay. Now at the time 1, so from the Gantt chart at the time 1, which process are available? Process P1 are available because it arrived at time 1. So we will pick the process P1 first and try to complete it till it's how much burst time it is required. So here burst time required is 7. So process P1 required 7 units of time to complete their execution, and now the time is 1. So 1 plus 7 is 8. Now the time is 8. So at the time of 8, all the processes are arrived. Process P2 are arrived, process P3 are arrived, process P4 are arrived, and process P5 are also arrived. So now we have freedom to choose a process which have least burst time. So in all the process P2 to process P5, which process will have least burst time? The process P3 will have least burst time. So the next chosen process will be process P3. And its burst time is 1. So 8 plus 1 is 9. Now after P3, the next process is process P4 because it requires 2 units of time. So process P4 requires 2 units of time, and 9 plus 2 is 11. After that, process P2 and P5 are left over, and process P2 have least burst time. It have burst time is 5. So process P5 will pick first. Okay, you understood it? What I am trying to say here. Here, the process P1 is picked first because it has least. It arrived at time 1, and no other process will arrive at that time. And similarly, when process P1 is over, all the processes are available. So process P3 will have least burst time, so we will pick the process P3 after P1, and similarly after P3 P4 is picked, after P4 P5 is picked, and P5 required 5 units of time, so 11 plus 5 is 16, and the last process is process P5. So process P5 required 8 units of time, 16 plus 8 is 24. Okay, so this is the Gantt chart for the available 5 processes. Now we have to compute the completion time, turnaround time, and waiting time. Okay, response time is same as waiting time in case of non-preemptive mode. Okay, So let's find the response time also, so that you can verify the waiting time and response time. So what is the completion time? Process P5 completed at time 24. So here time is 24. Process P1, P2, it is P1, P3, P4, after that P2, it is P2. Process P2 will completed at time 16. So completion time is of process P2 is 16. Similarly, process P4 completed at time 11. Process P3 will completed at time 9, and process P1 will completed at time 8. So 8, 16, 9, 11 and 24 are the completion time of the process P1 to P5. Now after the completion time, try to find the turnaround time. Turnaround time is completion time minus arrival time. 8 minus 1 is 7, 16 minus 2 is 14, 9 minus 3 is 5, 9 minus 3 is 6, 9 minus 3 is 6, 11 minus 4 is 7, 24 minus 5 is 19. Okay. Now waiting time. Waiting time is turnaround time minus burst time. So what is turnaround time? Process P1 is 7 and the burst time is also 7. So 7 minus 7 is 0. Process P2, 14 minus 5 is 9. Process P3, 6 minus 1 is 5. Process P4, 7 minus 2 is 5. And process P5, 19 minus 8 is 11. And what is the response time? Response time is nothing but it is the time when a process getting to the CPU first. So at what time P1 is picked first? P1 is responded by the CPU at time T1. So you can find the response time by looking at the left number of the available process. In the Gantt chart, you can, if you see the left number, you will find the response time. So here response time is, or response time of process P1 is 1. Okay. Here response time is 0 because P1 is arrived at 1 and it will scheduled at 1. So what you will do here is you will pick the left number of the process here and subtract it from the arrival time. So 1 minus 1 is 0. Okay. And similarly process P2. Process P2 will schedule to the CPU at the time of 11. And what is the arrival time of P2? Arrival time of P2 is 2. So 11 minus 2 is 9. Okay. Then process P3. Process P3 is scheduled to the CPU by the time of 8 and it will arrive at the time of 3. So 8 minus 3 is 5. Similarly process P4, 9 minus 4 is 5. And process P5. Process P5 arrived at time 8, but it will schedule to the CPU by the time of 16. 16 minus 8 is arrival time here is 5. 16 minus 5 is 11. So you can clearly see that the waiting time and the response time of the processes are same in case of non-preemptive mode. So always remember this fact or this particular formula. In case of non-preemptive mode, either you are using SJF scheduling algorithm or first come first scheduling algorithm or any other algorithm, the response time or waiting time will always be same. Okay. Now let's try to find out average turnaround time, because it is trivial. Many times average turnaround time or average waiting time are asked in the exam. So average turnaround time will be, try to add all the numbers in the turnaround time column. So 7 plus 14 plus 6 plus 7 plus 19, okay, and divide it with 5. Okay, so you will get that average turnaround time. Similarly, find the average waiting time. So try to add this number 0 plus 9 plus 5 plus 5 plus 11 divided by 5, because there are total 5 processes available. So you will find that the available average waiting time. So do the math please. Okay. So you got it. What is the process of solving the particular problem in shortest job first algorithm? Okay. So in the next video we will see the advantage and disadvantage of shortest job first scheduling algorithm.